Greetings, sisters. The book today is Noah's Ark, Noah's Flood, lots of water, lots of mud. Written by John Morris, illustrated by Jonathan Chong. It was published in 1998, also by Master Books. I hope you'll forgive me for doing this to you. This is another You Don't Need It book. I intend on posting a variety of books, but I'm just kind of reviewing them as I read them to the children and remind myself whether or not they're good, what they're about, and I promise you the next review is going to be a keeper. But again, this is another book that appears on Christian book lists for homeschoolers and Christian schools that you don't need. I would even go as far with this book as to say I really don't like this book in terms of its literary merit. We not only, I don't think we ever were able to read this book even one time. And the reason for that is that we got it. It looks like a children's book. It's definitely directed at little children. But as soon as you open the cover, even though the pictures are very, very much elementary, the text is very, very much over the heads of little kids. They don't stick with this book for more than a page or two, and that has been true across the board with my kids. In fact, in order to review this book, I had to sit down by myself and read it because otherwise we'd never get through it. So I finally read it cover to cover and just found that the whole book is the same. Like it's too much information for little kids. The way the information is presented is not good for little kids. And moreover, there are just really practical grammatical problems with this book too. It's not just in terms of its literary merit, it's not a good book. This is one of those books I just couldn't throw it in the trash because it's a Christian book. But if we were in the States, I would definitely donate this to the library because it just collects dust on our shelf for all the reasons I just mentioned. It's just not a good book. I don't know anything about John Morris. I know the name Morris is associated with creation science, and certainly Master Books is focused, it would seem, in terms of its outreach to kids on creation science. But again, this is not a good book. It's really important that I say this to you because there are lots of book lists out there directed at Christians for Christian children, and the information in them perhaps is good. But as books, they're worthless if the kids don't like them, if they're not written in such a way that children can appreciate the information presented or remember the information presented, or with this age level, ask for it to be read to them again and again. The title seems like it's going to be kind of a sing-songy, fun story that's going to have them remembering Bible facts maybe about the flood and Noah's Ark, but it's really not like that. The writing is just not for little kids. And you need to know that because books like this from publishers that are selling Christian books or writers that are known to be Christians, if I forgot how I started the sentence, but if a book seems to be a Christian book, then it will appear on Christian book lists whether or not it has any literary merit for the age group that it's targeted at. And this book just it's got good facts for sure, But in terms of its literary merit, its readability, its enjoyability, it's not a keeper, in my opinion. It's worse than You Don't Need It. It's not a keeper at all. It's not a good piece of literature. And so that's my review of this book. If you have it and you love it, by all means keep it. If you have it and your kids love it, by all means keep it, because the information, I think, is good. I think it's correct. There was nothing about it that stuck out to me as being not true or shocking or anything like that. But if you don't have it, you don't need to get it. So again, I promise you the next book will be a keeper. But I did want to tell you about this one. Thanks for listening. One more thing really quickly. I have more reviews on my website, leanneslibrary.com. To get there, you don't need the apostrophe in Leanne's. It's Leannes library.com. I'll put a little link, I guess, or I'll try to, or at least I'll put it up so you can see it. I'm not real computer savvy, but I have more reviews on my website, and many of the reviews that are there right now are keepers. But I just started this,